Hello, everybody. Welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. This is episode 139. We're getting up there. I'm going to talk a little bit about abortion today. It's obviously I would never say it's a comfortable subject, really, for anyone. It's not a lot of fun to think about. I can tell you this is kind of a funny thing about me. I'm so old that when I was born, abortion was still illegal in this country. Roe versus Wade didn't happen until 1973. I was born in 1967. So I was a mistake. The reason I laugh is because a joke I'm going to get to in a second that I sort of thought about just as I was starting the video. But I was not a planned pregnancy at all, not even close. It was the 60s. People were getting crazy, right? I was literally born in the summer of love, September of 1967. My dad wasn't even 21 when I was born. I was born a month before he turned 21. My mom was only 19. And so they weren't ready for me. So I think if abortions had been legal, they probably would have done it, but I'm kind of glad they didn't, which would make maybe a lot of people think, well, then you should be pro life. Absolutely not. Pro choice. We have enough people on the planet, obviously, enough unwanted people on the planet. Well, we still have plenty of adoption. I mean, working in a school, especially in elementary school, like I did the last 5.5 years before I got to my high school here at Overland. Um, Tons of foster kids, and they really have issues because they know deep in their hearts their parents either couldn't handle them. Sometimes it's a case of parents dying, but not usually. Usually it's the dad is already left, and the mom either couldn't handle it, or something bad happened to the mom, or whatever. And those foster kids have a hard time. Plenty of foster kids do great, but it's almost like early intervention with anything else, with any like a special need. If the early intervention parentally needs, it's nature. If you're not parented, you're not going to do as well. Birds knock an egg out of the nest, that egg dies, right? It's very simple. And we see it with seals sometimes. There's that thing where seals kill like the firstborn, sometimes really awful to watch. I've seen footage, it's horrible. But back to human beings. So, why am I talking about this? Just saw this yesterday, and I'm going to read it real quick. The Supreme Court announced on Monday that it will hear a Mississippi appeal of a lower court's decision to strike down a ban on most abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. The case, which is set to be heard during the court's next term, will allow justices to revisit the 1973 Roe versus Wade ruling, according to analysts and activists. First of all, let's look at the state that's proposing this, and that we're going to maybe model our entire country's freedom of reproduction after Mississippi. Now, the reason I started laughing at the beginning when I said Mississippi is because um, Chris Rock does a great joke in his special called Tambourine that I believe came out in 2018. I think it's still on Netflix. But he says, God doesn't make mistakes, really? And he can give some examples, and one of them is Mississippi. He's like, Mistake. Mistake. He talks about how horrible Mississippi is. So, yeah, let's not act like Mississippi some progressive state that the rest of us should follow. They're often usually in the bottom five of education. We know that they're not exactly great, have never been a really great state racially. I've driven through it. That's about it. I've gone through the little, I don't even know what you call it, the tab, the little Gulf Coast part, which is maybe, I don't know, 40 miles across, if that. I've been through Biloxi. That's it. That's my experience. So I can't speak to the entire state. Probably there are parts that are wonderful, but let's be honest. By and large, we do not see Mississippi as a progressive state, nor should they be at the cutting edge of abortion decisions. So it sounds like that after 15 weeks, many abortions will be banned. Having said that, last time I checked, and I didn't check this recently, I don't have it in front of me, but last time I checked, one third, 87% of abortions are performed in the first trimester, which is pretty good, right? It's not like moms are waiting around till the 30th week and going, geez, I got to get this thing out of me. Let's kill it. That's not what's happening, okay? These are mothers who they know the guy's not going to be involved most likely. I mean, I haven't been part and parcel to too many abortions. I've driven a friend one time, and I've known some women that have gotten them, and they were like, we were both stupid. He wasn't wearing a condom. I didn't have birth control or whatever. However it happened, sometimes it's a broken condom. Should you have to? take a life to term and care for it the next 18 years because what you thought would work didn't work? I don't think so. So there's my little spiel on abortion. I got another 5 minutes, and what I wanted to talk about was worldwide abortion, worldwide reproductive rights. So I was looking at a map, and I found it really interesting, and some things are going on in the world as far as abortion rights, which I didn't expect. I was pretty surprised. Like, not too many countries on the planet completely say no, you cannot have an abortion. Some that are not surprising. One is Vatican City. That's not a shock. Some it's hard to tell. I think that's Georgia, over in Russia, but that could be wrong about that. It's near the Ukraine on the map, and I'm pretty good at geography, but it's a tiny country. The two biggest countries appear to be Honduras and El Salvador, probably very heavily, Catholic countries. Also, it looks like the Dominican Republic. That's not surprising either. But I'm looking at this map, and I was expecting it to be pretty black, to be honest with you, and it wasn't as black as I thought it would be. The main color on this map in front of me is blue, and this is also part of something that's kind of open to interpretation. It says legal on woman's request. That means if you want an abortion, you can get it. So in the United States, you can't really say no. There are a lot of states where they say, oh, you got to get a counselor, or you got to go through all this bullshit before we let you have that. So that's not legally on a woman's request. That's with some caveats, okay? But so that was a big part of the world, not the majority, but a surprising amount of Asia, in my opinion. Russia, I'm guessing they probably have maybe the same rules we do. Maybe they have different provinces. I don't know if they have states there, but it's a humongous country, obviously. China, it was in the blue. That's surprising too. But who knows how the state runs that stuff? Mongolia, massive countries over there. Most of Scandinavia, most of Europe, not surprisingly, Canada. Some countries, like in the southern hemisphere, it's weird. It's like if you look at this map, it's like a hamburger. The top, like the northern part of the world is mostly pretty pro women's rights in this regard, and the southern half too, like Argentina, then South Africa, and then Australia. And then the middle, it gets really muddy and fuzzy, and there are a lot of different. How do I want to put it? I can't talk and use a computer at the same time, but a lot of different caveats as to like one category is risk to a woman's life, her health, rape, or fetal impairment. And that's less countries than I thought, because that's like second after legal on a woman's request. That's a major country, India. I think that's Namibia, or maybe I'm not sure which country that is. It looks like Namibia, but it might not be. It might be Rhodesia, or former Rhodesia, which is Zimbabwe. Anyway, maybe Botswana. I don't know my southern African countries as well as I can. Japan, that's a major one, but and England too. England. So basically, you got to have something. You can't just go in there and want an abortion. But there's a long list of things that it's got to be: risk to woman's life, health, rape, fetal or fetal impairment, or socioeconomic factors, which really almost equates it to the first. Upon legal request. Basically, if you're rich and healthy and weren't raped, they're telling you can't get an abortion. Then the next one is risk to woman's life, her health, rape, or fetal impairment, which and so it's that just minus socioeconomic factors. That's a big chunk of South America, a big chunk of Africa. So to be fair, I really thought there would be a lot more countries that just said, no, you can't have an abortion. I was really expecting the Middle East to be pretty bad. They're not great. I mean, it's still like in Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, let's see, Pakistan, and I'm not going to just slam Muslims for this, but we know that often many fundamentalist Muslims especially are not going to be cool with abortion. In fact, many fundamentalist Muslims believe you should only procreate. I mean, you should only have sex for procreation. To be fair, a lot of Jews and Christians feel the same way. But it's an interesting map. I will try to attach it or put it on the thumbnail of this little video I've done. I don't know what you guys think of the whole video. And once again, it's more opinions, but there are some interesting facts. So maybe delve into it, check it out. Yeah, I was just noticing Mexico's even divided into states. So I wish our map was. So that's interesting. Thanks for listening, you guys. If you have any comments, maybe we can do a little arguing. But there you go. That's Average Guy Opinions for episode 139. And get back to me, like I said on the last video. If there's anything you want me to weigh in on, I'd love to do that. Thank you so much. Talk to you next time. Bye.